Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Eagz. Just going to get straight into it. So this game, this is me coaching Adrian, not actually live coaching, but going through this game. And you can see here this interface I'm using. This is Insights GG that I'm using with pretty much every student I coach now. And you can even timestamp the games in the comment section here, so you pretty much just upload it to your library. And this is what a coaching session would typically look like these days. So we're just going through the game. I might even put some notes in here at the end, like bullet point them and stuff. But for the most part, I just want students going through their own games and commenting like on the right, like Adrian does. Anyway, in this game, let's get into it. What we want to be thinking about here is playing towards a lane, right? Because jungle matchup is kind of whatever, especially when you're playing Kayn and, you know, Lilia and stuff like that isn't really aggressive early game. So what we can do in pretty much every game is just path towards a lane where we're going to get a kill more than likely, okay? So if we just compare, it's always going to be top or bot here, right? The reason why bot lane is more likely to get a kill is because why? Combat summoner spells, right? And damage through Ignite. TP allows Aurelia, even if she dies like this, to stay in the game in terms of experience. That's really why people take TP, especially in like weaker matchups where they might, you know, like not be favored to win it. They're just using TP to stay in, you know, kind of like lane and soak up experience through minion waves and all that. Most of the time, if you really want to win lane, you're taking Ignite, which is a key indicator. So in this game, Adrian is going to start a blue buff, which is correct. And then he's going to go Gromp. And after this, he's going to keep clearing down, right? The Maokai in this game decides to level 2 gank top lane. Kind of hard to predict. You could always like tell your top laner if you want to, guys, to tell them to ward at level 1 so they don't get level 2 cheesed. Even stuff like Viego, Maokai's like in this game, Sejuani's might do it, right? Pretty much every champion in the game can level 2 gank. Maybe if you're like an Evelyn, you don't really care too much. Anyway, we continue with this game. So Adrian is going to continue to clear bot here. So we end up doing Raptors. And doing Raptors here is fine because that bot fight is probably going to end before we even get there, right? That is 15 seconds away. But the fact here that Adrian looks bot here is superb. This is really, really important. Whenever you're moving, guys, from one side of the map to the other, you have to be looking there. Now, lots of people as well might ask me here, like, what about invading Maokai's bot side? We could invade Maokai's bot side, like, we could go to his walls and his Gromp, but there's nothing stopping, like, maybe Thresh from going there, like, off spawn. And also Maokai could think about just doing something random, like Raptors into Gromp or something. So there's no actual like rule book here that says he has to go Krugs to Raptors. More than likely he is, but because we're so close to Raptors ourselves here, and we don't know if we're going to get both of those camps on the bot quadrant of Maokai's, it's quite coin flippy in the sense it's presumptuous. We're really hoping. Whenever you make a play, guys, in terms of jungle, you have to say, I know that I'm going to get this out of this play. Kill, 2 jungle camps, dragon, first rift hold, whatever it is, right? I know this is going to happen here. Not, oh, maybe. Oh, I think we win. Oh, this looks okay. It has to be, this looks great. I know I'm going to get a kill here. That's the attitude you got to have when you jungle. Adrian keeps clearing here, doing red buff is absolutely fine. Then he ends up doing Krugs. And what I really want to get into here happens after this. So this bot lane here, this is killable simply because if we think about it, this Maokai is most likely just like farming, right? Whether he's going like Krugs, Raptors down to bot lane and full clearing, like most people will. But also this is killable because if we look at like kind of the chat here, Misfortune is pinged Kai'Sa flash, Kai'Sa heal. This AD carry, who has no real escape now, becomes a lot more killable, especially for a champion like Kayn, right? It's really important if you're playing weaker early game champions, guys, to know summoner spells. That goes without saying, by the way. Like, if I'm playing Shaco with Ignite, Hail of Blades, it's not like I don't think about that stuff. It just means a little bit less because I can probably just, like, one-shot someone and quickly burst them down, even if they have flash. Like, they flash away and I just, like, E them with Ignite on them. They're probably still going to die. Kayn's different. Lilia is different. Udyr is different. These champions who like to full clear, in inverted commas, you just have to take into account that you have a little less damage early game. Now, Udyr, of course, might not, and Hecarim might have decent damage, but hopefully you get what I'm saying there, right? Just depends on the champion you're playing, guys, and knowing the damage output you have when you combo someone or when you're actually fighting someone. Every champion is going to be different. That's your job, okay? There is no jungler in the game that is a full clearer. There is no jungler in the game that is exclusively like a level 1, level 2 champion, right? You just have different levels of strength at those timings, okay? And it's important to take that into account. So what I was saying to Adrian here, right? And this is in like maybe Diamond NA, maybe mid-high Diamond or something like this. What I was saying to Adrian here was, look, man, like, because the Kai'Sa doesn't have flash and you're level 4, so level 4 is important. Why here? Because as soon as I say that, I think about someone else. Maokai, right? If Maokai's going to level 2 gank top lane, that means he's still 2 camps away from level 3. You are going to be level 3, and he's going to be level 2, right? So after Adrian did his walls, all the way back at like 220, the Maokai is probably still clearing Krugs. So he's essentially like at least 1.5 camps behind the Kayn. So Maokai, if Kayn is to fight here, is going to be level 3 against a level 4 champion. That is big in itself. Also, the Kai'Sa doesn't have flash. Also, the wave here, even though it might not be like in the best position possible, I mean, it might even look here like it's pushing into misfortune, right? What I'm saying here, guys, is like we can take advantage of this. How? How do we actually take advantage of the Kai'Sa not having flash here? Do you think we can 2v2? So do you think Kayn and Misfortune can beat a Threshing Kai'Sa, probably with minion advantage? I think it's going to be a no, right? If Kayn gets hooked or something like this, it's going to be very difficult to make work. So who do we need here? We need Pyke. So what I told Adrian was, look, try to ping your support here to come down here. And because Maokai is going to be level 3, even if he's here, we would see him right in River. By the time we get in the River Brush, we'd actually kill their bot lane on this wave. And you can also see here as well, guys, this is really like the big talking point in this video, is you see how there is a wave right next to the Kayn here below him. Because there is a wave there, how much time do you think that adds to Thresh and Kai'Sa? And it could be anyone, right? The enemy champions being in lane. How much time? Now, obviously, it's dependent on the champion and the time in the game. But early game, roughly, about 15 seconds, I reckon, right? So another tip here to think about is that minion waves come, right? Like every 30 seconds. 130, 2 minutes here, 230, etc. So 30, 0, 30, 0, 30, 0. Whatever the minute is, right? It's always every 30 seconds. So when you see this approaching 30 seconds or the old double 0 on the end, like at 2 minutes or 3 minutes, like actual minutes, you know a fresh minion wave is in that lane. Therefore, you have another plus 15. That's how you think about it. Plus 15. I've got plus 15 seconds here to make a play. So not only are we basing this gank and potential kill, which I think is almost a definite kill here, on the wave state, but also Kai'Sa's summoner spells, and also the fact that Maokai is still going to be clearing, in my opinion anyway. Even if he's here, he'll be level 3, we'll see him in River, we don't lose anything for it, and we can pressure the enemy champions as well, and if Pyke is here with us, we should win a fight because we have level 4, and again, Kai'Sa has no flash. So you see how we like kind of layer these plays? Lots of people think about, oh, I need to gank more, or I need to do this more. It's all conditional, bro. You have to add a because in there. This gank is great because of the wave, because the enemy jungler is probably lagging behind us in level 3, because the enemy AD carry who we really want to kill doesn't have flash. See what I'm getting at? That's what you really have to do, guys, when you like dissect your games. You have to say because and add conditions to the what. Don't just say I need to gank more. So here, what Pyke can do, and what Adrian should do, is actually ping for assistance right here. And he comes through with the Pyke, and potentially they can kill the Kai'Sa. Maybe it's a little bit dependent on Pyke landing a Q, but let's be real. Even people at this elo, which, like I said, is like maybe around mid-high diamond, that's kind of like disrespectful, but I would expect a Pyke to be able to land a Q here, or something like that, right? Or even just to start a fight, or MF to like go in, right? Like just get something going here. Like surely something good is going to happen, right? If the Kai'Sa doesn't have flash there, which I believe it would. Anyway, Adrian ends up going for this crab, which is fine. Nothing's going on, right? Maybe something else he can do here is actually put a ward down, like on the Maokai's, like, I don't know, in this brush, or maybe like, you know, above this wall, the Gromp wall. Probably fine, to be honest, because he's probably always got this crab for free here. So that's like another option before he actually does the crab. He's going to do crab here and recall. Why? There's no kills. Bot lane is unkillable. Their full HP and the wave is pushing into them. The Maokai might be pathing bot. Yes, this is true, but my top camps are also respawning, right? And I also don't want to be just like sitting bot, waiting potentially for Maokai to gank when he might just be recalling himself, right? Because he got like an assist top lane. So Maokai here could even recall and like run top and like gank Aurelia again. I don't know 100% where he is. That's why maybe the Drinker would come in handy here. Anyway, recalling what Adrian does is absolutely correct, and then we're going to run out. We're going to buy some items, right? Red Kayn in this game. And as we're running out here, I want you guys to think about what I just talked about before. What did I say? When he was doing Krugs, I mentioned something about what? There was something below him in the bot lane. A minion wave. What are minion waves? Plus what? What was the number? 15 seconds, yeah? Plus 15. When you're running out of base guys as jungle, and I never really like thought about this, or how do you put it, like articulated it, I guess, because it was just like in my brain and you just like see it. And sometimes I actually do forget to like, you know, mention stuff that's in my head, but I'm vocalizing it now for you. So when you see a minion wave like this and you're running out of base as a jungler, you need to know that if you're running out of base with a minion wave, there's plus 15 right next to you. It's the ideal time to gank, essentially, right? So if I just play this for you, just watch. You see how this wave is in top lane? You see how this wave is in mid lane now, and you see how the wave is in bot lane as well, at 4:30. There it is. So 0-0, 3-0. If the time in the top right has either 0-0 or 3-0, at the end of it, there is a minion wave in that lane. Obviously, it depends where it's going to be. Okay, it's also really important here if you look at this when Jax kills Aurelia, so I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. When Jax kills Aurelia, right, we look at this and we can see that when Jax ends up shoving that minion wave, where he is right... Come on, Jax, hurry up. Right now, you guys need to know where the wave is going to collide. And basically, all you have to do is just think about a line on top of the furthest minion from each wave, and just draw a line in the middle. So the wave is going to collide in an excellent position for Kayn to gank. Think about if you're Jax here. Laners are going to know where the wave is going to like collide, right? So if you're Jax and the wave collides there, you're going to be thinking, I'd rather get Eagz than, like have to play the lane here. So let me just shove this out. So Jax is going to shove the wave out, right? When he shoves the wave out, that's potentially a kill. You have to then decide, well, can I actually kill this guy? Is he level 6? Does he have E? Does he have flash? Do I have flash? Am I strong enough, like in terms of items and stuff? Where's the enemy jungler? That's what you guys have to conditionalize. Think for yourself type thing. But I'm just trying to show you here, like ganking on waves is probably the most important thing when you gank. The other point I just want to make here, 2 more points I think for this video. The next point, again, is just based on minion waves. So when we're running out of base here, right, Aurelia is dead. We can't do anything top lane unless the Jax is super low. And I think even like Adrian might look at him here, maybe. Never mind, he doesn't. So this is something we should definitely do, right? Like looking at lanes running out of base. But there's also one lane he actually just like completely disregards. And I think lots of people will think like this because if Adrian is and he's like diamond, lots of people are going to in lower elos. So when we see Jax there, he's like half HP, right? And he is probably unkillable for a Kayn. Like, if you're Kayn, you literally have to like have someone on 200-300 HP to be able to kill them, especially early game. Unless, of course, they use big cooldowns. So think about it. If you see Jax on this next wave right here, use his Counter-Strike, his E, you can potentially kill him. But again, it depends on whether you can actually like get behind him in time. So he's going to see you in the wall. He might even have a ward down, maybe in the river brush. Like, even that comes into it, right? Like, vision. But there's also just one more thing I want to say here. Adrian does not look once at this lane because he's gone into this game with a premeditated idea about this champion. Who do you think it might be? So it's Fizz, right? Adrian said to me, I was like, why don't you actually look mid here? And I even called it, like, in the session. I said, like, I reckon you don't look mid because you think, oh, it's Fizz. He's impossible to gank. Or Vlad has no setup for Kayn and it's important, which it isn't. You're killing the enemy champions. Their HP is the most important thing, right? And where the wave is going to be. Of course, you can factor in to that equation, like your teammates setup, and do they have Ignite and stuff? Of course, absolutely. Like with the Pyke bot lane, right? We're hoping in a way that this guy's going to land a Q, but how can he not when the wave is in a really good position and we can come through and kill them in the 3v2? But what I'm getting at here is like, Adrian did not decide to even look mid because he thought Fizz, he thought in like terms of absolute, right? Like Fizz is just unkillable because of his E. He's really hard to kill. That's like thinking a LeBlanc is really hard to kill. And I even said, look, bro, I completely agree with you, but a Fizz with his E is very different to a Fizz without his E. And we also have a fresh wave mid. Look at Vladimir's HP for me above the minimap. If Vlad is that low, it's also representative of what the enemy champion's HP is probably going to be as well. So if Vlad is low, it's not like he's standing still saying, hey Fizz, hit me with that trident, bruh. And he's just like copping it, right? He's going to be exchanging damage. No one's going to stand still and just take it, yeah? So Vladimir and Fizz are going to be trading a lot here. And Fizz is going to be very low as well. That's how kind of you can guesstimate, I guess, the enemy champion's HP. And because there's a fresh wave there, which is what? Plus 15 seconds. The Kayn here, instead of even doing Gromp, he should do Crab in terms of jungling because I even said to him here, I said, Adrian, look, the Maokai is probably bot, right? And we should definitely be pinging this area. And I also told him, like, this area here, even though you have this Scuttle Crab ward, the enemy jungler can actually evade the vision just by running through. Like, legit, that won't even spot you if the enemy jungler just goes like this and hugs the wall. Like, they won't get spotted by the Scuttle Crab ward. So that's also another point here as well. We should be pinging bot lane out of base because Maokai has probably gone like this, right? So he's gone red buff here and then all the way back and then back down. Also here in terms of jungling camps, like if we're really going to jungle and not like gank either one of these lanes, I don't think top is killable, by the way, but mid is definitely killable. But if we're not going to gank either of these lanes, we should go like this to Crab, and then we can come back to Gromp pools and then back down maybe, right? Unless Maokai makes something happen bot. If Maokai makes something happen bot here, we can always think, like after Crab, of going to maybe Krugs and Raptors. Obviously, it depends on his level and his CS and stuff like that. Also, remember, in this game, the Maokai was a little bit delayed because he went red to top. So, that 420 timer for Krugs, that's going to be maybe even like 450, close to 5 minutes, right? So we have to be very careful of invading his top side, given the fact that he is delayed by quite a bit here, given the fact that he did gank top lane. Hopefully all that makes sense, man. But the key point here is that Adrian missed the gank mid just because we weren't even really thinking about it, but also we didn't understand like waves, kind of like we do now, hopefully. So this was a big missed opportunity. And then after this as well, when Maokai shows bot, which is what we should have been pinging, I think it's actually really easy to track that guy. We should now be thinking, well, we can invade his top side, but I even said to Adrian here, look, if we go for his top camps, it's actually very hard to do, right? Like, very hard to do. So if we were going to do one of his top camps here, we should not even do Crab. We should go straight to his Krugs here. But I didn't even know if that's worth, because we're going from Gromp to Krugs. So you see how much nicer this would have been if we went straight to Crab, and then he shows bot, and then we're like, wow, okay, well, this guy did red buff, and then he would have done, like, Krugs Raptors, probably, with 24, 25 CS, whatever he's got. So he's actually, like, full cleared here, yeah? So now we know that he did Krugs and Raptors. So after we do Crab and we see him gank bot lane, we can just go like this. And after that, we can react, really. If you don't think you can take Raptors as well, we just come back out to Gromp, Wolves, You see how nice that is? Instead, we've gone, like, Gromp to Crab to Krugs. What do we do afterwards? We can't go to Raptors because he could be here, right, with Fizz. And Jax could be running out of base as well. It's like kind of risky to stay in there for 2 camps based on the timing. So now we come all the way back out to Wolves, right? A little bit annoying. Not really smooth and in a nice pattern in a way. Guys, hopefully this makes sense. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you want one-on-one coaching, challenger coaching every single role in the game, you can book it through the website down below. This session, along with 600 plus, probably even close to 700 plus others, they're all on Patreon. In the last few months, there's probably like, I don't even know, like 400 up there. And if you want more content like this, like you actually learn something from it, please leave a like on the video so I do know what type of content to make. If you have questions about the moves, leave them in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't be shit, bye.